Hey, welcome back to the Builder Basement. I'm here, got some upgrades, got some t-shirts made up for the kids and myself, got some new cameras, my wireless mic is coming, so my audio will be a little bit better. You guys have gone ahead, some of you have subscribed. I'm looking for more subscribers. The more subscribe, the more videos I'll get out, the more I know you're watching them, the more content I'll be able to do. So with that, we're going to continue on with our Voron build. It's been a little bit since I put out a video. So last time we talked, we were putting the rails on the frame. No additional notes really make on that. I did one on camera. I did the additional 3 off camera. Same thing tonight. Tonight we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with the Z drive assemblies. So I did cheat a little bit here. I did put one together in advance. Just so I could see what was going on with it and just so I could find out what the issues are going to be before I actually did it so I could talk about them as I go. That being said, it's pretty straightforward. It's not overly complicated. Yeah, it's not too bad. So right here, you definitely don't want to skip over these first couple screens, first couple pages of the manual. There's things that they mention on these pages every once in a while that carry on through the rest of that section of the manual. This one, for example, is telling you to apply thread lock compound to the grub screws. It doesn't say it anyplace else. Not that you'd forget to do that, not that you wouldn't do that, but it's not in there anyplace else, so you want to read that stuff. I also talk about putting these heat set inserts into the ABS housing that you're going to be manufacturing. So one note on that is you want to be pretty much at the lowest temperature you can be to put these in. The reason for that is you just want that to melt around as good as possible. You don't want to drive it through, have it liquefy too much, and kind of move its way downwards. You want to basically set itself, kind of like concrete around that metal, that brass that you're putting through there. It's one of the reasons they use brass because it's such a great conductor of heat. So you want to kind of glue itself in. So keep your temperature as low as possible. Maybe do some testing before you do it. I will say I went ahead in advance. Let's see if I can get this on camera. Always something. I went ahead in advance and actually filed down the tip of my soldering iron. There is only one reason for that. That is so that the tip doesn't go beyond where the actual insert will be. So you want to do that just because, well, for one, you want to keep the heat where you want it, and for two, you don't want to melt anything you don't want to melt. You want to keep everything where you want it. Another note, since I did buy this kit from FORMBOT, and I have been kind of talking about what came with it and what I think of the quality and whatnot. So real quick here, minor, but some of these spacers, shims, have had some additional debris inside of them. I haven't been able to knock them out, just barely been hanging on by a thread. But be careful because something as simple as that could really screw up your day in terms of building something and having it stuck where you don't want it. Other than that, nothing else was really surprising. All right. So getting back to this, I'm going to skip over putting these heat set inserts in right now. Takes a long time really because you're really looking for a minute or two for each one. I'm going to skip over it. We're just going to assemble. And that's kind of the most important part here. So this mechanism, I have problems with the diagram. It's actually not problems with the diagram, it's problems with the wording on the diagram. And my problems with the wording on the diagram are specifically down to the shims. So right here is what you should be looking for in terms of the order that things are going in. You have from one end to the other, shaft going through the whole thing. You have your bearing. You have your gear. You have 2 shims. You have your bearing. You have 2 shims. You have your pulley, and then you have your bearing. So here's my problem. If you look closely at the drawing, it does look like there's two shims there, or it looks like possibly they're showing the center of the bearing a little bit. And to top that all off, it says M5 shim. It doesn't say M5 shims. It doesn't say 4X. It doesn't say 2 times 2X. It just says M5 shim. I think they should probably update that. It's not overly confusing, but somebody could easily put a single shim in there on each side. I don't even know how much it would throw it off. Everything wouldn't align properly, but other than that, you might be okay. Not that I want to try that, but so let's get this thing together. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our shaft. And as I was saying before, this is in order. So if we do shaft, bearing, okay, easy enough. And then this pulley, this gear, goes on like that, okay. It's the easiest and best way I've seen to do it. We've done this a couple times trying it out. After that, we have one shim, two shim, another bearing, another shim, another shim, and top it all off with your bearing. Okay, that right there is what you're looking for. Now if you hold like that, you have your complete mechanism. Once you have that, and again, double shim on either side, that's what you're looking for. A little quick tip, with these little grub screws, things like that, I keep these little neodymium magnets around, and they just allow everything to clump up, because you can imagine, no matter what your work surface is, these things go flying around, not so good, but they come off easy. You stick them back on there. As you're taking stuff out, you just leave a magnet out, tracks to it. If you put your work away for the evening or something like that, you stick it right to something metal that's big, you're not going to lose it. So, a little tip there. Alright, so with the mechanism being there and the way we want it, we'll take the housing. Okay, so this is the housing. Your pulley is going to sit in the large open area. Okay, and I'm purposely not putting my grub screws in just yet. Most has to do with the alignment. Okay, because when you get down to it, everything is supposed to properly seat, just like you saw that happen right there, inside their spaces. Okay, once you have everything seated properly, everything should turn, everything should be good. So, nothing's falling apart either, huh? Alright, then you get your top section. It's going to go on just like that. Make it all one piece. Before I do that though, we're going to go ahead and grub this thing up. And let's see here. I need this guy, I think. Alright? Yep, that's right. So obviously we want to find the flat point on our shaft, and I'm going to make it, for those car guys out there, I'm going to make it top dead center, just so we can see where it is, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of my blue on there. There we And we'll get this started. Okay, not gonna over tighten that just yet. Just gonna just set it in there. Gonna do the same with my pulley. Good thing about doing it this way too is once you have it, you can look off to the side and see, I don't know if that's come through, but you can see if that is properly fitting in there. It's attached, because I haven't tightened these down, so it's basically just riding on the fact that it's hitting the flat part and the slope on that. It's not actually being held by friction at this point. So I'm going to spin this. In order to spin, I got to lift it up because that does come down further than the plastic piece. And not 100% on this one, but they have us putting 2 of these grub screws in both items. All right, the 9mm and the pulley. So there's that one, and get a little more blue on this one. Make a mess. There we go. And see if we can get this one on as well. And one thing I noticed is they didn't say anything in here about any type of lubrication. Not quite sure. I mean, it shouldn't really need any lubrication. I mean, you're running on bearings. You're assuming your bearings are already, you know, they're already sealed and lubed. So there's nothing really else going on there. But I thought maybe just on the shims or something, but nothing's mentioned, so I didn't do anything. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and tighten these down now that we have them right where we want them. And on these grub screws, you gotta be careful. Again, we're going, you know, steel parts or a hard metal against a soft metal. Last thing you want to do is have to drill out your mistake. Not so fun. Cleaning up my mess here. All right. You know what? I made a mistake. So these grub screws are 2 different sizes. They didn't quite know why. And again, I am a novice, but I just figured out why in my head. So on the section going into the flat portion of that shaft, because it's flat, you have an extra maybe 2mm, not maybe 1 or 2, and that is where your longer grub screw is supposed to go. I pretty much guarantee it just makes sense. So let's fix that right now before we get any further. I guess it's good I did it on camera, because if I did it, somebody else is probably bound to do it as well. So hopefully nobody calls me out on it. All right, so I didn't put my heat certs in this, but that's what you're looking for. One last thing is you're going to be putting a belt on this. And get it back together. Get that seated where it goes. Get this where it goes. Like that. So all of our bearings are in their proper positions. And let's get that on like that. There we go. So, leads us to here. Just for the purposes of demonstration, I'm going to get my M340s. Let's see here. 320s and 340s. I'll also show you this too real quick. I use these trays whenever I do a project that has a lot of little parts. Allows you to keep organized, allows you to not lose things. Kind of nice. So 40s. There's going to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. We also would want us to put 3 more heat certs in there. That's on the top of it. So let's see here. So they are looking for us to, if we were doing that right now, again, I don't want to bore you with that, but basically inserting there. I'll probably do a quick video on that separately, maybe a 5-minute video on how I do them. But I don't want to do it in this video. It's going to take too much time. So putting these through. Let's see here, side. Okay, so one of the big things is on this manual is you have to pay close attention to the visuals they give you. It's a manual of very few words and lots of pictures. Kind of like IKEA stuff, but better. So let's see here. We're going to, actually these are the, oh, 3 by 40s. I grabbed 5 by 40s. Stand by. 3 by 40s. 3 by 40s. All right, that wouldn't work very well. So 6 of these. Got there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Put it back. All right. So assume we have the heat certs in there. We'd be screwing into them, but I'm just going to push them through for now. And when you do tighten these up, when you're putting this together, again, tight enough to hold everything together. Not so much that you end up starting to pull your screws through the plastic. ABS is a very hard plastic, but it's not harder than metal. So don't test it. So there you go. That's what you're looking at with that. All right. So we put our 6 screws in. Got that all assembled, and with the belt, I'm not sure why they show you to put the belt in near the step. Another thing that was kind of odd. So beyond that, all right, now we're doing the foot, and actually we're going to use our first blue piece I made. So actually this is fun. All right, so talked about this before. And show it off again here. I ordered my kit, again, multiple sources. And I'll mention it right now, I actually had somebody that reached out to me, left me a message, comment in one of my videos about another source on getting your ABS parts. And that was basically utilizing the Discord. So Discord, the Voron Discord has tons of information. It's a little busy, I guess I could say, but there are people out there that are also making parts for their for Vorons to sell. They may not be part of the make it forward portion of everything, but they are making them. They are selling them, and that's another avenue that you can take if you want to get your parts from another place. So, anyways, yeah, back to these parts. So I ordered my Voron stuff, and I got the normal black and the normal red because it's what most people want. So this red, but I wanted blue, and I wasn't sure if I could print ABS. I'm probably gonna do a short video on ABS and printing it on a ender. I got a pretty good tweak settings that work really well. So I figured at first I would at least make my accent colors and see if I could print them, and it turned out really well. So I continued, and I actually reprinted a couple of parts in case I break them because they're relatively fine. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Where is it? Where is it? Doesn't want to be found. All right, nonetheless, print off some parts. I got my ABS tweaked and tuned very well. Really impressed with what I was able to do. So I definitely want to do a video on that in case people have enders out there, specifically an Ender 5 with minor modifications. You could make that printer print ABS pretty well and maybe skip over this whole step and do it yourself. So anyways, my parts, their parts. I use this blue that I found that I like. We got almost a Captain America or Superman thing going on over here. But I just want to show those off. I was kind of proud of them. They came out really nice. Even the really flat, long parts, absolutely no warping on there whatsoever once I got everything where I wanted it. Real nice. All right, put these back away. Show off my wares. Oh, I think I've showed this off before, but if you don't print ABS correctly, this is what can happen. So that is a print gone bad right there, ABS on a printer. That's primarily what happens with ABS. It warps, it goes crazy. All right, so let's grab the parts we need for this. It looks like we need M5 hex nuts, M3 by 8, the rubber feet, I should say, and the accent piece. All right. Let me see if I got rubber feet, and I need the M3 by 8s. M3 by 8s. Where are they? M3 by 16. And M5 hex nut. We need that. M3 by 16. And the M3 by 8s. M3 by 20. M5 by 40. M3 by, oh yeah, okay. So the same screws that we used when we did the rails, actually. We got lots of those. All right, so start off with that guy right there. This is kind of a moment of truth for me in my prints, and it is basically on how well this goes. I'm assuming that this should be a tight fit because the way that this is going to be positioned is gonna, let's see here, this is gonna go like that. Where is that going? Okay, yeah. So the way this is gonna be positioned is over an open gear. So I'm assuming we're gonna be looking like that. And actually, it's gonna be like that. And let's see if this can get in there. I have not done this yet. Oh, oh yeah, look at that. That is perfect. It's not coming out. I'm impressed. It's always nice when you get impressed with yourself, right? Not cocky, but just impressed, right? All right, so we got that. That's your M5 nut, goes inside there. This is the back or the underside of this Z drive. This is going to sit obviously with your screws right here. You would be putting in your heat certs there first. It's going to sit there like that. And then we're going to do 3 screws. Goes a lot quicker too, and you don't have to screw them in, huh? A little tight on that. But threads right through. All right. 1, 2, and let's see here, 2 and come on, get through there. There we go. All right, 1, 2, and 3, right? All right, so she's going to sit on there. She's going to be screwed in right there. And then we have Das Boot for my German listeners, watchers. Actually, some of my favorite YouTubers are German. All right, so right there we need an M5 by 10, which are ones that we have used before again. That's that guy right there. And he's going to go down in there. And grab that. It's going to sit right on top. Again, finger tight's good. All right, so there we go. Everything's kind of plunked together there. All right, so where does that leave us? That leaves us with some work here on the motor. So it's saying after at that point we're going to actually slide that aside. Slide that aside and bring our motor over. Right there. And attach all 4 motor mounts to their stepper motors for your Z drive. Okay, so this is again where the manual gets a little bit wonky. Not exactly sure where that part is, but let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. Whatever it is, I know I got 4 of them, so that's not it. Is that it? Nope. Seems like I'm missing something here. No bueno. I think I'm missing some parts. All right. Well, kind of hard to continue on right now, but we'll go through this, take a look at it, see if anything really odd on this, and then I guess I got to print some more ABS parts. Fun. All right. So let's assume that I have that part, which it doesn't seem that I do, and maybe I do, I just can't find it at the moment, but we'll come back to that. And actually, it's the last portion of that. After that, we're going to be doing the sandwich. I'm going to get this last piece gone ahead and made. I'm going to build up the rest of these, the 4. I think see me screw 4 screws into an ABS piece into a motor is not needed, but next time you see me I should have all 4 of these built. And that looks like we're going to be making the deck sandwich with the DIN rails and getting that all situated. Alright, so with that, I really appreciate you guys watching. This is like a lot done in this video, but I am working on getting this whole YouTube thing put together and hopefully making some better quality video for you. So do subscribe if you're at all interested in what I'm doing. Trying to cut out the boring parts as much as possible and still have you see what I'm doing. If you haven't seen the other videos, I put this together. I did the linear rails with the base, square everything out, kind of showed how I do it to make sure that everything stayed nice and square as I did it. So you can go look back at some of the videos I've already done. Plan on doing more videos, going to continue with the Voron build, get the whole thing built, probably do some other things in between. And if there's anything you want to see, anything you're interested in, any questions you have about anything I've done, or any questions you have about anything you've seen in any of my videos, go ahead and leave me a comment. I will get back to you as soon as I can. And with that, it's a wrap. Thanks.